Hello, I'm Robert Lyall. I'm the artistic director of the New Orleans Opera, and I'm here to talk about our experience in producing Menotti's masterpiece, The Medium, in a film version rather than a purely staged version. And yes, there are differences. My role as the conductor of the production is also to help produce the soundscape for it. So we have taken his masterful bit of orchestration and recorded it so that it can be used as the backdrop, so to speak, for the drama that you will see sung and acted out in the film version. And that requires a number of very different steps from traditional opera to capture each dimension of the production in its own space and then put it all together to create an organic whole that offers you a complete operatic performance.
Hi, my name is James Marvel. I am the stage director for New Orleans Opera's upcoming production of The Medium by Carlo Menotti. One of the things that's been really cool and interesting has been really trying to shape the concept and idea of what I'm doing as a director for film. Obviously, I've been a stage director for over 20 years and love the feeling of a live performance, but having the opportunity to work on this as a director of a film, in a sense, has been really interesting and really intriguing as well. I do have a little bit of background in film. Some of my early work when I first moved to New York, I was working as an extra in movies and things like that, and did some little projects here and there. And more recently, I've directed some music videos for rock and roll bands that have, I feel, played into what I do as a director. And having that experience in my background, I think really will help this production really be a vivid experience for our audience.
I'm really enjoying this production because it's got a very unique vibe. It's very Victorian steampunky, so you're going to see things that have a very periodness to it, but you will also see things that are really not totally correct for the period. The director's vision was a very dark vision. He wanted everything in black, gray, cream, and so there's very little color in the show, except for maybe a little bit more on Baba. And, you know, that's kind of made it unusual and interesting. And I really love time periods. That's my strength as a costume designer, designing for different time periods. It's just been really good for me. I'm enjoying every bit of it.
This production has been very different because of COVID and because we're here at the Scenic Studio. We're actually on the paint floor where I work every day, but we've turned it into a sound studio. It's been a fun and interesting process, turning this entire space into a tent to darken it so that Mandy can do her lights. It's been very convenient. These flats were literally stored 40 feet away, so we just kind of had to lay them down right over there. I painted them, and we stood them up right here.
One critical issue to address is to find the appropriate venues to put the pieces together for a film version. We recorded the score at Esplanade Studios, the people who are responsible for filming this production, and they have their own setup and their own engineers, and they can dissect it and break it into its parts and put it back together with edited impact with regard to the soundscape of the score. And so we went through that exercise. And of course, bear in mind that we're doing this during the COVID period, so everything required all of the protocols for social distancing between players, between singers, between the conductor, and all of the performers. Then it is put together from a technical point of view to make it whole. Then we layer in the fact that today you're seeing me standing on the set at the Scenic Studio that the New Orleans Opera owns, and the set has been constructed here rather than on our home theater of the Mahalia Jackson, and then we move all of the technical apparatus to this location to capture the drama. And then what you will see is the integration of the soundscape and the acting scape, which is what the set represents. And you will see it in action in the film itself.
One of the interesting things is that in addition to staging this for film, we've also staged it in a way that is safe according to COVID protocols. And one of the things that I do with the graduate students who I teach is to create directing scenarios where you essentially have to overcome an impossible situation, right? And what happens in those moments is that the directors who I'm training really just use their imagination and use their thoughts and their minds to take an issue that has logistical challenges and to overcome those challenges. And I think that that's really what we've done in this instance. I got to sort of take my classroom exercise and apply it back onto myself, and to really look at how you stage a piece safely with 6 feet apart, 6 feet distance at all times, and to still not lose a single ounce or a single shred of the dramatic power that is inherent within this piece.
Mrs. Nolan, it must be your daughter. Speak to her. Speak to her. Can't you see? She's looking for you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.